my intro? Should I introduce you first? Oh.
All right. Take two.
Thank you so much for joining me, Megan the trainer, registered dietitian, and Mr. Bowman here for another segment of Nourish to Flourish, where today's topic is sugar, specifically added sugar. So before I get into some different things on added sugar, I also just want to kind of define two different terms that we think of when we talk about sugar, and that's added sugar and naturally occurring sugar. So added sugar is just as it sounds, it's sugar that we add to things. So if we put honey in our tea, or if we put white sugar in our cookie mix, that's added sugar because we're adding it in. You get it? Naturally occurring sugar is, again, just as it sounds, it's something that already exists there. There's already sugar in apples. There's already sugar in carrots. We don't have to add it to get it there. This sugar that's in our cookies and the sugar that can be found in our carrots is essentially the same sugar. It's the same chemical, molecule, compound, what have you. Sugar is sugar is sugar, just like a calorie is a calorie. It is what it is. But the big thing here is that with a lot of added sugars, typically we find added sugars in a lot of highly ultra-processed foods. And a lot of times these foods are going to be lower in nutritional value. Not to say that they're bad, just don't give us as much bang for a buck from a nutrient perspective. Compared to those naturally occurring sugars, typically there's a bigger ratio of nutrients per sugar. So again, if you think about sugars found in a banana, there's a lot of fiber, there's some potassium, there's a lot of other things that we can get from eating bananas compared to sitting down and eating a chocolate chip cookie. Now, does this mean that added sugar is bad? No, not necessarily. It really kind of comes down to the dose. How much are we having? How often are we having it during the day? So again, those highly ultra-processed foods, that's typically going to be our biggest culprit of where we're going to see a lot of added sugars. But you'd also be kind of surprised. There are some health foods out there that can also be higher in added sugar. Just like things that might advertise that they're low fat or fat free, just because they say that doesn't mean they're automatically healthy. Oftentimes if we take fat out of something, it doesn't taste very good. So what do we do to make it taste good? We put sugar in.
It's true.
There's also some different things like condiments and sauces and salad dressings that you wouldn't anticipate sugar being in, but sugar is added in. So how much exactly are we supposed to have during the day? So again, kind of depending on who you are, anywhere from like 25 to 36 grams of sugar a day, or about 6 to 9 teaspoons. Now, typically, the average American gets somewhere around 20 teaspoons. So that's a lot more than what we really need. And so when we have higher amounts of added sugar in our diet, that's where we can see that higher risk for some different health conditions, like increasing our blood pressure, having issues with our weight, seeing some markers of inflammation in our body, and even issues with blood sugar regulation. That's kind of the biggest one. But now the big thing is that just bring some awareness into your eating and how often and how much you're having added sugars. Check out the nutrition facts on the foods that you're eating and see if there might be other alternatives out there that could get you lower amounts of added sugars, or make your food at home, because then you can be in charge of how much added sugar you're going to be putting into your recipes. Again, you can still be healthy and consume sugar, just be aware of how much that is. All right, we didn't have any crying. That I'm going to say is a win. Now that you know better, let's go to do better so we can all be better.